Good evening and welcome to California Today. I am Liang Zhang. Let's take a look at today's stories. Student loan servicer company Navient reached a settlement with 39 states. The allegations were over misleading students during student loan debt repayment processes. Navient has agreed to pay $1.7 billion in student loan cancellations. Some Californians are split when it comes to the state's solar energy metering system. The solar energy industry may shift if this new proposal is adopted. The California Department of Motor Vehicles told Tesla it will come under review. The DMV may change its previous decision to not require the car company to submit self-driving data to the agency. Today, Governor Gavin Newsom rejected releasing Robert F. Kennedy's assassin Sirhan Sirhan from prison. Kennedy's assassin recently was up for parole after being in jail for half a century.
Newsom said Robert F. Kennedy was his political hero and that Mr. Sirhan's assassination of Senator Kennedy is among the most notorious crimes in American history. The governor's decision is due to Sirhan's refusal to accept responsibility for his crime, his lack of insight and the accountability required to support his safe release, his failure to disclaim violence committed in his name, and his failure to mitigate his risk factors. RFK was shot in 1968 while he was campaigning for presidential nomination. In a statement from the Kennedy Family for Justice, they said they are grateful and relieved by the decision to deny parole. Sirhan is now 77.
Today, Governor Gavin Newsom spoke on infrastructure investments and clean transportation in Santa Clara County. Santa Clara Mayor Lisa Gilmore and State Senator Bob Wachowski joined the governor.
Governor Newsom traveled from San Francisco to Santa Clara on the local Caltrain to announce infrastructure investments. Newsom plans to encourage zero-emission vehicles and support ports.
In this year's budget, to focus on bringing together issues related to climate, health, economic development, workforce development, and no greater place to connect those dots than the areas of infrastructure and notably transportation.
The California Infrastructure Investments was first introduced on Monday at Newsom's state budget proposal announcement. The state's plan will add $6.1 billion for electric trucks, school buses, heavy-duty vehicles, 100,000 new charging stations, and transportation projects. This year, Newsom has proposed a $9.1 million additional resources budget request to the federal government for the transportation spending.
As a state, if we're successful with the additional budget requests this year and whatever the legislature looks to add on, $10 billion.
Among the transportation budget, high-speed rail costs the most. Governor Newsom added the state will invest more than $4 million to finish the first phase of the high-speed rail project, which will ultimately connect Central Valley, Central Coast, Northern and Southern California.
Once we get that first phase done and we continue to advance the subsequent phases in parallel. And so that's the vision, that's the goal.
Once the budget is approved, Caltrain, one of the transportation projects, will be the state of California's first ever electrified commuting rail system, spanning 51 miles between San Francisco and San Jose without gas emission. Newsom is aiming to make California a zero transportation emission state by 2035.
A new study in Southern California showed that people infected with Omicron have less severe illness than those infected with Delta. Here's more with NTD's Eileen Ang.
A preliminary study released on Tuesday revealed that the Omicron variant of the CCP virus, also known as COVID-19, is causing less severe illness than the Delta variant in Southern California. In a sample of about 70,000 patients within the Kaiser Permanente Southern California healthcare system, about 52,000 had Omicron and 17,000 had Delta. They found that those infected with Omicron compared to Delta were 53% less likely to be hospitalized, 74% less likely to be in the intensive care unit, and 91% less likely to die from it. In addition, none of the Omicron patients required mechanical ventilation. In a tweet, the CDC director said, while less severe, Omicron is much more transmissible and we are seeing the unprecedented impact. She still recommends people to get vaccinated, boosted, and wear a mask. The study was conducted between November 30th of last year to January 1st. It was funded by the CDC. It has yet to be peer-reviewed. Eileen Ang, NTD News, California.
A judge blocked a new law that barred the protests at vaccination sites. The judge ruled that the law imposed on freedom of speech. U.S. Magistrate Judge Nathaniel Cousins of San Jose blocked a law that prohibited the protesters from being within 30 feet of vaccination clinics, saying the law violates free speech. Senator Richard Pan of Sacramento proposed SB 742 last year after protests caused a vaccination site at Dodger Stadium in Los Angeles to shut down. It was to protect patients and healthcare workers. Governor Gavin Newsom signed it into law in October. For people drowning in student loan debt, the repayment process can be lengthy and filled with unexpected changes. Last month, President Biden extended the loan repayment pause. And now Navient, one of the nation's largest student loan service companies, has agreed to pay over $1 billion in student loan cancellations. Here's NTD's Cynthia Kai with the details.
5 years ago, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, or CFPB, filed the first lawsuit against student loan servicer Navient, alleging deceptive practices towards students. Navient is now agreeing to pay billions in student debt cancellation.
Navient will cancel $1.7 billion in debt for more than 66,000 people nationwide and provide another 350,000 borrowers who were manipulated into forbearances with $95 million in restitution.
The settlement, joined by 39 state attorneys general, was announced on Thursday to resolve a long-standing lawsuit against Navient. Multiple states' attorneys general highlighted the issue of forbearance.
Navient, as Josh, as you pointed out, sort of promised to help these borrowers. And all they got when they contacted Navient was a push into a bad plan, this forbearance plan, which was bad for borrowers because all that did was tack on interest on top of interest.
CFPB filed the lawsuit on January 18, 2017, claiming that Navient engaged in unfair practices by steering student loan borrowers into forbearances and away from federal student loan relief or forgiveness programs.
As part of our investigation and litigation, we uncovered and alleged that Navient, operating as Sallie Mae, made private predatory loans to students attending for-profit colleges. Students who Navient knew would not be able to repay.
However, despite the settlement, Navient denies all charges, insisting there is no evidence to substantiate the allegations. Jack Raimondi, Navient's chief executive, said in an interview with the Washington Post, "This is really about eliminating a time-consuming, distracting, and costly process. With the ability to explicitly deny the claims that were made in these cases and borrowers harm, I think it's noteworthy that we are not giving up on our defense here. We're just agreeing that it's time to move on."
As a result of today's settlement, Navient must ensure that its call agents discuss the benefits of income-driven repayment with all borrowers seeking to lower or stop their payments. They need to create a new cadre of repayment specialists who are trained to advise at-risk borrowers.
Navient will notify eligible loan borrowers of their loan cancellation by July. It will also notify credit reporting bureaus of the canceled loans.
If you're eligible, you won't need to do anything to receive this relief. It will come to you. Payments will be sent in the mail to eligible federal loan borrowers later this year once the settlement is approved.
The agreement was filed Thursday in the U.S. District Court of the Middle District of Pennsylvania and is awaiting court approval. Cynthia Kai, NTD News.
Some Californians are divided on a proposal that could change the solar metering system in the energy industry in the state. The Utilities Commission proposed changes to the energy metering system for rooftop solar panel owners. NTD's David Lamb has that story.
On Thursday morning, hundreds of solar workers rallied and marched in San Francisco, voicing their objection to a new proposal affecting Californians. During an online public comment at the state's Utility Commission meeting, people were divided on the net energy metering system, which would decrease financial benefits for those with rooftop solar panels.
Promoting local solar saves all ratepayers money, whether or not they have solar. Studies show that rooftop solar reduces the cost of long-distance power lines and can save every ratepayer $300 per year for the next 30 years if we keep it growing.
Opponents say that the changes will deter people from investing in rooftop solar panels. They also said these panels are competition against the large utility companies. Among the supporters of the changes, they say the rooftop solar panels are too costly for low-income families, and some prefer solar farms.
There is no reason to overpay for rooftop solar when we can get utility-scale solar for 1/6 the price and create more and better jobs.
A spokesperson with the Affordable Clean Energy for All Coalition told NTD that the current program hurts Californians who don't own homes, as non-solar owners are paying for the benefits.
Because the way it works is if you have solar panels, these extra credits or subsidies that you get every month for selling your power back to the grid are so generous that in many cases people don't have a utility bill every month.
Tesla CEO Elon Musk has criticized the proposal, calling it an anti-environment move. California officials have ambitious goals for increasing clean energy, such as through solar power. But there are conflicts on how to get there. Earlier this week, the governor has said that there still needs to be work done on the proposal. David Lamb, NTD News, California.
The California's DMV is reviewing regulation requirements for Tesla's self-driving features. This comes after a state senator voiced concerns over videos circulating on social media from drivers showing the technology in use. NTD's Jason Blair brings us more.
The California Department of Motor Vehicles recently notified electric car maker Tesla that it will be re-evaluating its self-driving features to see if they fall into the agency's autonomous driving regulations. Currently, the DMV is not requiring Tesla to meet these regulations based on a previous conclusion that Tesla's self-driving features require a human driver. The DMV stated in a letter to California Senator Lina Gonzalez that recent software updates, videos showing dangerous use of that technology, open investigations by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, and the opinions of other experts in this space prompted the re-evaluation. Gonzalez is the chair of the California Senate's Transportation Committee and expressed concern to the DMV in December regarding Tesla's full self-driving beta software. Tesla drivers circulated videos on social media platforms showing what the DMV referred to as dangerous use of the technology. If Tesla is required to meet the DMV's autonomous driving regulations, they will have to report crashes and system failures to the agency. Robot car companies like Waymo, Cruise, Argo, and Zoox already fall into this category. Jason Blair, NTD News, California.
Now to NTD's Thomas Christian for an update on sports.
I'm Thomas Christian, taking you through the California Today Sports Roundup. The New York Yankees are promoting Rachel Balkovec to manager of the Loa Tampa Tarpons, making her the first woman to skipper a team affiliated with Major League Baseball, according to two people familiar with the move. The people spoke to the Associated Press on Sunday on condition of anonymity because the club hadn't actually officially announced the promotion yet. The 34-year-old Balkovec joined the Yankee organization as a hitting coach in 2019, making her the first woman with that full-time job in affiliated baseball as well. She got her first position in pro ball with the St. Louis Cardinals as a minor league strength and conditioning coach in 2012. Balkovec, a former softball catcher at Creighton University and the University of New Mexico, moved from the Cardinals to the Houston Astros in 2016. She was hired as the Latin American Strength and Conditioning Coordinator, a position for which she learned Spanish, and later became the strength and conditioning coach at AA Corpus Christi. The NHL has notified teams that it will fully investigate Evander Kane for traveling while in the COVID-19 protocol, Sportsnet reported Wednesday. The probe stems from Kane returning home to Vancouver on December 29th after testing positive 8 days earlier. It was that travel without medical clearance that prompted the San Jose Sharks to terminate his contract, citing a violation of AHL's COVID-19 protocol. The Sharks placed Kane on unconditional waiver Saturday before terminating the rest of his deal a day later after he went unclaimed. Kane was in the fourth season of a 7-year, $49 million contract signed in May 2018. Kane, 30, received a 21-game NHL suspension in October for submitting a fake vaccination card. He appeared in 5 games with the AHL's San Jose Barracuda this season and tallied 2 goals and 6 assists before being placed in the protocol on December 22nd. Sacramento used a 24-3 third-quarter flurry to take the lead, and De'Aaron Fox capped a 29-point performance with a key jumper to stall a late Lakers rally as the Kings earned a home victory. The Kings ended a 5-game losing streak and finished with a 2-2 record in the season series against the Lakers. Harrison Barnes finished with 23 points, Marvin Bagley added 16, Chimezie Metu and Tyrese Halliburton added 14 apiece, and Buddy Hield had 10 off the bench. In a balanced Kings attack, LeBron James produced a game-high 34 points for the Lakers, who dropped their second straight after winning 4 in a row. Malik Monk backed up James with 22 points, a majority of which coming on 6 for 9 shooting from three-point range. Kings 125, Lakers 116. As always, I'm Thomas Christian, and thanks for tuning in.
And that's all for tonight. You can join us again on California Today every weekday at 8 p.m. If you have any news tips or ideas for our show, feel free to let us know. You can also find us on Twitter and Facebook. I'm Liang Zhang. Have a wonderful evening.